what to do if you have to find the perfect house, if you're really picky, or if your house criteria is very specific. My name is Brian Mayer with the Mayer Group at eXp Realty, and today I want to talk about those of you who are blessed enough to be in a situation where you can be picky or very specific about the house you want to buy. And I want to give you some strategies for how to go about doing that. And all these strategies are going to be based around the concept of basically having your finger on the button and ready to pull the trigger immediately as best as possible. And I'm going to kind of go some scenarios, but really that's the gist of it. You want to be very prepared in every possible way. And I want to give you some things to think about as far as what to do to get prepared. So I have some clients right now who just sold their house and they went in to live with some family because the house that they buy is going to be their last house, and it's really important that they find the perfect house because this is a big deal, right? This is like, it was a big deal for them to sell their house, and the house they want it to be perfect. So here's what I recommend. So let's start with all the ways that you can be prepared. So the first thing is, if you have a home to sell, then you need to be prepared to put it on the market very, very quickly. There was that, what is it? The Minutemen. Learned about this in middle school. We were learning about during the Revolutionary War, the British were coming. Who's that guy? Anyway, the Minutemen were the soldiers that, were farmers, but they were prepared to go to fight in 1 minute. They'd have their jacket and their gun by the door, and I guess their boots would be right there. They just step into their boots, grab their jacket, grab their gun, run out the door, and they were. You need to be the Minuteman of selling your home. You need to have all of your decorating done, and if you haven't called us and you think that the best thing to do is wait to call us before you sell your house, like right before, terrible idea. Watch my video on that. You need to call us 2 months before, and you need to call us even before that. The minute you decide this could be an option, you should just call us, because we're going to get a pre-home inspection, a pre-appraisal, a home staging consultation, and they're going to give you a lot of advice on what to do to get your house ready to sell. It doesn't necessarily cost a lot of money. I don't want to get into that, but what I want to tell you is you need to have your house like photo ready within 1 day reasonably, because if you find a house that's perfect and you're going to present an offer to the buyer, to the seller, and your house isn't even on the market, you need to be prepared to say it will be on the market within 24 hours. We just have to wait for photos or something like that. And if we can get the photos done ahead of time, let's just do that. All right. So the next thing that you need to be prepared for is obviously your financing. You need to be ready to buy the house. Anytime you write an offer, you have to have a letter from a lender, and the lender has to say, I checked their credit, I checked their income, I checked their down payment, wherever the finances are, I checked the funding, and everything's ready to go. You can't write an offer without proving that you have the money. If you already have the money, you just have to have your bank statement ready to turn over when you write the offer. One way or another, you have to have the money. All right, so those are more like material things that have to be done. Let's talk about mentally. How do we prepare for this mentally? The number one way to prepare for this mentally is to go see houses as much as you can, even if you're not planning on buying one. And the reason why is because when the time comes, the more exposure you have to the market, the more confident you will be when it's time. And that goes for anything. The more you do any task, any job, any activity, the more comfortable you are with it. And if you go see a whole bunch of houses and you know how much they cost, you know how quickly they're selling, you know what closing costs are normally being paid, and you know a general idea on what this house might be worth, or you also know the likelihood of another house equally as nice coming back on the market, you'll have the expertise to be able to make a good decision. Let's just say you're not prepared and you are hesitating because you're not comfortable, and the perfect house comes on the market, and you're like, well, I think we're going to come in $20,000 under, and we're going to ask them to replace the roof, and we're going to ask them to pay 4% in closing costs, and that's going to be our offer, and we'll put our house on the market in 2 weeks. and then you start writing the offer, and the agent calls back and says, we have 2 offers, what do you want to do? The next day it goes under contract, it's sold for $10,000 over asking. You're like, what the heck was that? Well, if you had been in the market and you've been watching and you were aware, you would have known, houses that look like this get multiple offers in 24 hours. And if you're in the game and you know that, you're prepared on how to handle it. We can do something called an escalation clause that says we're going to offer this amount of money, but we're going to go up $1,000 over what somebody else offers until we reach this dollar amount. So if the house is $300,000, we can come in at $295 and then escalate up to $310. That's just one idea, but I'm just saying you won't be prepared to do that until you've seen a bunch of houses. So again, the advice is, even if you're not ready to buy one, even if you know this house does not meet your criteria, but it's at least in the same price range or the same type of a market or same style house, you should go see it and then watch it and see, does it sell quickly? Does it take a long time? Does it sell at the price that it went on the market at? Did they have to lower it? Just kind of get a feel for the market, because that's going to be the number one thing that's going to really help your success. You don't want to come in and just be all gung-ho $10,000 over if the house is already overpriced. Like, the appraisal will protect you from paying over the appraised value, but some houses don't always sell at the appraised value, and sometimes there's deals to be had. We're talking about a lot of money, and the more comfortable you are, the better. Now, of course, you can rely on your real estate agent, and of course, I'll send you comps, and of course, I'll send you a history of every house that's sold on the market. But even then, the way to be the most comfortable is to get out there, go see the houses, and that's really probably my number one advice. If you're not ready, you're not ready, so get ready. But my next piece of advice is go out and see a bunch of houses until you get comfortable, so that you'll know what's going on and you'll be ready when the time comes. Because more than anything, this big decision gives people anxiety, and if you have a very strong familiarity with the market, you'll be able to do better. So I've said this at least 8 different ways. I hope it's finally come through. Go see houses. You're not wasting my time. I know I hear that a lot, like, oh, I don't want to waste your time. You're not wasting my time. My job is to help people buy and sell houses. If I don't want to help you, I'll just tell you I don't want to help you. I've told people before, find another real estate agent. If I'm scheduling appointments, that means I want to help you. I don't know how else to say it, but don't ever think you're wasting my time. You can reach out to me at any time. And then the other thing is, just watch the market and make sure that you're getting the listings within 15 minutes. If you're not on my hot property alert system, you're not getting them within 15 minutes. About 10% of the houses will sell within 24 hours. So you want to make sure that you're getting them every 15 minutes, so that if something comes along that's really good, move heaven and earth, and I'll try to move heaven and earth and go see it immediately. The last 3 offers I wrote were on houses that we got there within 1 hour of them hitting the market, and we didn't end up having to compete against multiple people in a hot market. We were in the Waldorf, Accokeek area in a lower price range where houses were getting 3 and 5 offers at a time, and we were able to go in there and just, slam dunk a couple. So if you have any questions, let me know. I hope you found this helpful and informative. This is Brian Mayer with the Mayer Group at eXp Realty. If you want some advice on buying or selling, check out themayergroup.net. Lots of information on there. Make it a fantastic day.